It was a cold winter morning on the island of Sodor, and the engines were at Tidmouth sheds and had their fireboxes to keep them warm from the cold weather.
This snow is causing nothing but trouble.
You can say that again, Henry. Every time when there's too much snow, the tracks get blocked and we have to wear our snowplows to clear the line.
Yes, Thomas, but I don't mind clearing the snow, as long as we have our sandboxes to stop us from slipping on icy rails.
You're quite right, Edward. And besides, we have an important job to do.
And what job is that?
Delivering Christmas trees to markets all over the island. I'll be delivering trees to the west side of the island, while Henry delivers trees to the east side of the island.
We'll see you back at the sheds tonight, Thomas.
See you both later, and take care you too. The tracks may be very slippery.
And Thomas was right. The tracks that Henry and Edward used were slippery, so the two engines used their sandboxes to keep them from slipping. When they arrived at Henry's forest to pick up the trees, Trevor and Terence were there working. And Toby had also brought the woodsmen to cut down the trees as they were loaded onto the flatbeds. And it was hard work when the weather was cold.
Hello there, Edward and Henry. Have you two come to collect the trees?
Yes, we have, Trevor.
The tracks are clear, but the rails are still slippery.
Don't worry, Henry. The ice will melt when the weather gets warmer during the winter.
I suppose so, Toby. Are the woodsmen ready to load our trucks?
Yes, Henry. Your load will be ready soon.
But what about my load? I'm supposed to take trees to the west side of Sodor.
Don't worry, Edward. I'll go and collect some trees straight away.
Be quick now, Trevor. The fat patrol wants these trees in perfect conditions for the markets.
There's no need to rush, Edward. I'll be quick as soon as I can.
Soon, all the trees were loaded onto the flatbeds for Edward and Henry to take around the island. Then, Toby took the woodsmen home, as Terence and Trevor were in two sheds in the forest.
Hey Trevor, where did our drivers go?
They went back with Toby, and the woodsman said they'd come back tomorrow to bring some more trees.
Are you sure about that?
Of course I am.
The tracks were icy, but Edward and Henry were on time. Henry took his trees to the east side of Sodor from Marin to Vickers Town, while Edward took his delivery of trees to side of Sodor from Wellsworth to Netford. The Fat Controller was pleased that Edward had done his tree deliveries.
Well, I have to say, your delivery was very good, Edward.
Thank you, sir. After Netford, my last stop will be Tidmouth.
Tidmouth. Oh my god.
What's wrong, sir?
There's a Christmas fair coming to the town hall in Tidmouth, and it's missing a tall Christmas tree. It's supposed to have baubles, tinsels, lights, ornaments, and a star on top of the tree.
Don't worry, sir. Tomorrow, I'll be going back to the forest to collect another load of trees. And I'm sure Terrence and Trevor can find the biggest tree in the forest.
I've already done my tree delivery, sir.
Thank you, Henry, but I still need a tall tree for the Christmas fair. It's happening next week.
I'm sure we have time to deliver the tallest tree to the town hall, won't we, Henry?
Yes, Edward. We'll be on time with the tallest tree from my forest.
Well, suit yourselves then. The weather will be less cold tomorrow, so that will mean that the tracks will be less slippery than they were today.
Edward and Henry were both glad to hear what the Fat Controller had said. The next morning, the two engines puffed back to Henry's forest to collect more trees, as well as the tallest one they could find. And Toby took the workmen as usual, alongside Terence and Trevor's drivers. At the forest, the last load of the pine trees were loaded into Henry's trucks. Trevor and Terence went all over the forest, looking for the tallest pine tree they could find.
Any luck, Terence?
Not yet, Henry. We're still looking for a perfect pine tree.
Hey Edward, I found the tallest pine tree in the forest.
You have? Why, thank you, Trevor. Where is it? The Fat Controller needs that tree very urgently.
I'm going to get it. Just give me a few minutes. It won't be long.
Toby, aren't you sure that we're safe for a traction engine like Trevor?
To be honest, Henrietta, it doesn't really look safe. Those tall, narrow trees haven't been used for years.
And Toby was right. The narrow trees did look crooked and unsafe. And there was a gap between the trees, as Trevor didn't notice. The tall pine tree was lifted into the trailer, as Trevor trundled on.
It would be a bit more quicker to go through those tall trees.
But Jem Cole, that way looks unsafe.
If the Fat Controller needs this tree now, we must get it to it safely. I'm sure the tall trees will be safe for us to go through.
But Jem Cole was wrong. The trees weren't safe at all, and as Trevor was about to go between the trees, he got stuck.
Oh no. I'm too wide to go through the trees. Jem, reverse, quickly.
I'm trying. Hold it, listen.
Now look what's happened.
Don't worry, Trevor. I'll go and get help.
Is Trevor alright, Jem Cole?
No way. There's a forest fire that's going to spread all over the forest. And Trevor's trapped in the trees with the tallest pine tree, and he needs help.
An emergency. We'll be going out today.
There's a big forest fire at Henry's forest. We must go to Belle and Flynn.
Don't worry, Joey. We're on our way.
Fiery Flynn to the rescue! You might need to go as well, Butch. Trevor might need to be towed.
Sounds like a job for me. I'm ready for action.
And what about me, Joey? What am I supposed to do?
Sorry, Captain. Forests aren't near any water.
Well, duty calls, off I go.
Joey, Belle, Flynn, Harold, and Butch raced to Henry's forest to stop the fire from spreading. Meanwhile, Henry was waiting at a signal to collect more trees when the 5 rescue vehicles raced past him.
What's going on?
There's a forest fire in your forest.
Oh no! The Christmas fair is next week, and all the trees will be burned!
When Henry returned to the forest, Belle and Flynn were already putting out the fire.
Stay calm. We'll soon have this fire out when the temperature gets cooler.
I've got the tree, but somebody needs to put out that fire.
Flynn and I will do that, Butch. You go and get Trevor out of the trees.
Will Trevor be alright?
You bet he will, Edward. I'll make sure of it.
Be careful, Butch. The fire is getting bigger.
Butch raced back to the forest to save Trevor.
Am I glad to see you, Butch? We better hurry, Trevor. We don't have much time.
When Butch was attached to Trevor, he pulled with all his might, and at last, he pulled Trevor out of the burning trees, and just then Harold flew in from above as he put out the rest of the fire. And at last, the fire was out, but the trees were burnt to a crisp. And James had brought Rocky to put Trevor onto the flatbed to be taken to the steamworks.
Thanks, Butch. You're my hero. Don't mention it, Trevor. It's all in a good day's work.
But you must go to the steamworks because you're all badly damaged.
I know, but I hope I can get repaired in time for the Christmas fair, and now, I've ruined the tallest pine tree. I'm very foolish indeed.
Don't worry, Trevor. I'm sure we'll find some other pine trees around the island while the workmen at the steamworks fix you up.
Edward took Trevor to the works, and then, he left to look for some other tall trees while Trevor was getting fixed. A few days later, Edward came back to the works with a big surprise for Trevor.
Hello, Trevor. I have a little surprise for you.
Really? What is it, Edward?
I found a perfect replacement for the trees that got burnt down the other day. And this pine tree is from Misty Island. The logging locos gave it to me for the Christmas fair at the town hall.
Well, and there's another surprise. I've been fixed. Look at me. Didn't Victor fix me up well?
Well, I guess he did.
Now, I can give children sleigh rides at the Christmas fair. Thank you, Victor.
No problem, my friend. I hope you enjoyed the Christmas fair.
I certainly will, Victor. I love the children's happy faces.
It was the day of the Christmas fair at the town hall, and Toby, Thomas, and Percy were very busy taking visitors to and from the town square. And Edward would help out too, whenever there were more visitors coming, and was also happy to see his friend Trevor fixed up like new.
Hello, Trevor. How's the fair going?
It's going great, Edward. I love giving children sleigh rides, and Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you as well, Trevor.
And Edward just smiled, as he watched his friend Trevor give sleigh rides at the fair all day long.
I'm Mr. Perkins. I've just popped into Mr. Edwards' signal box here to warm up before my next train. Mr. Edwards always keeps a nice fire going, especially when it's snowing. I think I'll keep my scarf on, though, for now. I think I remember a story about an engine wearing a scarf. I think it's in one of these books. Ah, yes. Here it is. Shall I read it? A scarf for Percy. It was snowing on Sodor. Thomas and Percy were awake early and feeling cold and cross. Thomas wanted a warm boiler, but Percy thought he'd be warmer still if he had a scarf. There, you see. Thomas thought it was a silly idea. Percy with a scarf round his funnel? The Fat Controller had pressed his best trousers to wear when he had his picture taken. I shall pack these in my trunk for later, he said. Out on the tracks, Percy couldn't stop thinking about scarves. He saw them everywhere. My funnel's cold, he puffed. I want a scarf. Engines don't wear scarves, said Henry. Engines with proper funnels do, snorted Percy. You've only got a small one. Percy's driver liked to switch off Percy's steam outside the station so he could sneak up quietly and surprise the coaches. The porters were taking some luggage across the tracks, including the Fat Controller's trunk. They didn't hear Percy coming, and Percy bumped right into the trolley. Boxes and bags flew everywhere, and sticky jam splattered over everyone. Jam? Where did jam come from? Oh, maybe Lady Hat packed a picnic in case they got hungry. And the Fat Controller's best trousers ended up wrapped round Percy's funnel, just like a scarf. Everyone was very sticky and very cross. Back at the sheds, Percy's driver cleaned him up. It's going to be warmer tomorrow, Percy, said Henry. You won't need a scarf. Certainly not, said Percy. Engines don't need scarves. Engines need warm boilers. Everyone knows that. Well, I think I'm warm enough now. Don't think I need my scarf anymore. Not until I go back outside in the snow.
Snow, 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 snow.